Today we're going to start putting inputs into functions. Or methods in this case, we're calling them methods. So if I make a method, I can say, hey, this method needs two integers or two blah blah blahs or decimals or whatever, strings. It could be whatever you need it to be. And then it will use those in the function, maybe down here, and it says, hey, I'm going to use these two to get something to give back. So input, so we put an input into a function and we do some work and then we get an output. Now, this you can already do with the plus. That's not the point. The point is this is a really simple example. So I have an integer and another integer, and I'm going to add them together. And I'm going to put the answer in answer. And so answer, I'm going to make it equal int1 plus int2. And then I'm going to say, hey, give that answer back to whatever it was. All right. So now, let's see. That's the actual method. Now, whoa, something went wrong. Redo. There you go. So let's say this is where the program actually starts. So right here, I have print and then addition. I'm using that method from up here, down here, and I'm putting 5 and 6 into it. When I'm putting something into a function like this, I can pass the numbers to them. I don't have to make them a variable first. That's usually true. I don't think I know of an exception where that's not true. Anyway, we can put 5 and 6 into it directly, or then we could put two variables into it as well, or a variable and a number. I could put 7 here if I wanted to, and it wouldn't matter. Now, here I've got a line that says I want a new integer called input1, and I'm asking the user to type it in for me. So in the same way that you can print stuff out, most functions have some sort of most languages have some sort of ask function or input where you put in something, or the user can put in something in order to let the computer work with it. So that's what I'm trying to do with ask here. So print is what the computer shows you. Ask is where you get, or is when the computer gets input from you. And then from that input, you can always get, or you can always output right here. You can say, oh, look, the stuff that you gave me, I'm going to add them together, and I'm going to show you what the answer is. So there you go. Now, your assignment is to make a function that needs inputs and then run it to get an output, just like this. You do not have to do a math function. You could say, you could just put two strings together, or you could make something false. Like you can say, hey, look, I want a new method. Let's make that actually. New method, turn false, and it takes a true false. It takes a true false and it makes it false maybe. So you could say just return false. True false Bob. Bob equals false. Return false. Something really simple like that. Or you could do, I don't know. Return Bob. Return Bob. That's actually better. I don't know why I didn't write that. So what about, you could do one where you could, print extra. Dang it, doesn't let me do it very well. But I'm just gonna do this, print extra. So I could put a string here, stuff to print, and then I could do this, print so I'm printing out a bunch of exclamation points. Then I'm going to print stuff to print. And then I'm going to print something like, hey, there's more exclamation points. Aren't you excited now? Because this is now much more exciting. Because let's say I put in, I'm a coding student. You put this into the function, this is what it would give you. Actually, I need to put a space here and a space here. And I should probably put that there too, because then it would create a new line and then it won't bleed into anything else. So I'm a coding student. You put this into the function and then it prints this out for you. Not every function needs a return value. If you remember in Alice, most of the things used were not actually methods that had return values. Most of them were just what you would call procedures, where it's just altering stuff or completing some task, but not giving a value back to the function that that called it, or the method that called it. So that is all you really need to know. It does not have to be fancy. Just show me that you can put this syntax together and that you know what it's for. And that's all you need to really do for this assignment. So any kind of function that needs input and then run it to get an output. So you do have to put the function into this section like I did here. I used the addition function that I made. And actually, let me just use the print extra. I'm gonna put a string here that says like, I'm done with this lesson. And it'll print out something really extra for me. And there you go. That's all there is. Please ask me on Remind if you have any questions.